Yes, there's a lot to be said about Brother George Rhymes and Brother John Robinson as we struggle to do what's right in a world of wrongness. We try to do things behind closed doors. Some things local citizenry may never fully know nor understand. Yet the fight goes on. Often we are criticized, saying that we want to take money to put in our pockets, when in truth we are fighting for somebody outside of ourselves and for our children and grandchildren and for generations of children to come. Often we are misunderstood and ridiculed. I remember when I had Superintendent Bill Cason on my radio broadcast when following the time when he refused to let the children at Valdosta High School and the other city school system listen to President Barack Obama. I did not hate the man. I had him on my broadcast, and later we toured the Hudson Docket area. Found him to be just another human being. When some of the people on the board, black African Americans, didn't say anything. So that's the way the story goes. But we walked through the community and we had beautiful dialogue, got to understand each other, and we came closer. I didn't sell my soul to the devil, but a long time ago I committed myself not to allow anybody to make me hate another human being. Later, when there was a court case between the city school system and the black African American citizen, Dr. Case came and shook my hand. Some people didn't like that. I guess they thought that I was an Uncle Tom. But I refuse to allow people to make me hate somebody just because they dislike him. I respect a person as long as they do and act by what is contained within the heart. In other words, there would be very little need of me expecting Satan to carry out the works of Jesus, and it would be wrong for me to expect Jesus to do the work of Satan. And so I respect all men at their level. The picture you're looking at, by the way, and I'm going to close this out, is when me and Brother John Robinson was on Comcast TV up in Atlanta, and we addressed some of the issues here in the Valdosta area, the school system, the local, state, and federal contracts not going to small minority contractors, the renaming of Barber Park, 30 deaths in the Lowndes County Jail, how local news media outlets seem to suppress the news in the black community. We discussed all of this. I read a poem while up there. Brother Gideon always asked me to do a poem, and we appreciate the brother for thinking enough of us to give us access to television on a larger scale, because too often down in South Georgia they don't report what I believe should be reported. Going back, and I can remember when I was called by ABC Nightly News, Charles Gibson people, and I was interviewed on national news because I worked with President Barack Obama in trying to get him elected President of the United States. And it was only after ABC News and Charles Gibson people came down to Valdosta, and they walked with me as I registered people, did Channel 6, CBS, and WALB call me in for an interview. And of course, there's footage on local radio station following ABC Nightly News with Charles Gibson. So it seemed like to me, and I've been saying it for 2 decades, there's a pattern and practice of keeping the citizens in Valdosta, Lowndes County, and South Georgia in general deaf, dumb, and blind to the times and unable to make intelligent decisions based on facts. Equipment 10 was arrested December 25th. I was up in Atlanta. But when they picked up the first one, I started getting calls. Brother Rhymes, they gone crazy up here. And so I got on the phone, I called Edward DuBose, I called all the civil rights organizations and informed them of what was going on. Kept in touch with the people in Quitman. But today they were charged. Very little is said about the citizens who allegedly was intimidated by the G.B.R, especially an individual in a white truck who was a part of the investigation. I understand. I don't know. I don't live over there, but when I was called, I went over there. Me and a local pastor from Valdosta, his name was Calvin Benjamin. We went over there and we walked the streets. We asked questions. We interviewed people because that's the way I operate. I want the truth and nothing but the truth. And then I want to disseminate it to the general public. But too often it seems as if, though, this South Georgia News Media Network don't want everybody equally informed. We have elected officials that go on the conservative radio stations, 2 of them, wherein our president is lambasted on a daily basis. But yet, oh, that's a phone call. We're going to ignore that phone call because we want to listen to you. Oh, let's see what the phone call says. Let's see what this is. Hello, how you doing? No, I'm busy right now. I'll call you back, okay? All right. And I just want the people of Valdosta, Lowndes County, South Georgia to know that I am forever grateful for Brother John Robertson, a man who is committed to seeing change in our community. And that's what it's all about. So, I thank you for watching. And I'm asking you to get involved, regardless of where you reside. It's time now for us to stand up and help save this country. We cannot allow people to get on radio and lambaste our 44th president without us speaking out. We have had 43 other white male presidents. And history will record that the venom that we hear on a daily basis was not given to the other presidents, regardless of what some may say. Never before. Not even when some of them denied blacks the right to assemble in groups of more than 5, the right to protest, the right to carry a gun, the right to be called a human being, the right to marry the woman that they wanted. Couldn't even go into public bathrooms under some of the other presidents. Black folk didn't get in the news media and lambaste those white Caucasians like the first black president Barack Obama is today. And so today they say they want their country back. They want smaller government. They want states' rights. They need to sit down with the black African Americans and let us tell them about big government, small governments, and that we want our country back. Hell, the horse wants you off his back. The air wants its oxygen back. The fish undoubtedly want its fish back. The ocean does want the shrimp back that you've eaten. So, they think we're stupid. They think we're ignorant. They forget that our ancestors built the pyramids in Egypt and that the Catholic Church went into Africa and robbed her of not only her natural resources, but even of their people. And then we was brought a westerly course, not knowing our name, our history, our culture. Our religious belief system was stripped from us. Today we carry a time capsule, even our name. The name we carry is not African names. And even the name Africa is not the name of that continent. That's a name white Europeans stamped on a continent and people. Originally it was called Akebuyan. Akebulan. Further back, I read that it's called the land of the burnt-faced people. Nobody should be ignorant today. We don't even have our own mind. We got a white mind. That's why too many of us are committing crimes against our very nature. Because we are lost. We are the lost tribe. And indeed, the true Israelites. Nobody wants to talk about that, but time, Dr. Time will tell the story. You will know the truth of Ethiopia as recorded in the book of Genesis. The Genesis has some truth. But the greater truth today is in the minds of fearless men and women who don't live in fear. God did not give us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. I'm going to close this out now. I'm just sitting around the house and just started thinking. And I just picked up this camera to do what I do. To get some of this out of my head and out of my mind and out of my soul. Because I'm about to explode. About to give birth to a new reality within my own brain cells. You see, I once overthrew a government of a nation. I did it all by myself. I overthrew the government of a nation. That's how powerful we are when we get away from the foolishness and the indoctrination and incarceration that have enslaved our people for far too long. Even whites have fell victim of that same indoctrinational spirit. And so what happened to me is when I left South Georgia and I began to read and take heed to the ancient writings of truth, I overthrew the government of my own mind and I set my Congress free. And I said, never again will I go behind closed doors and scratch where I don't itch and bow to another man and call him master. No, no, those days are long gone. And if you haven't overthrown the government of your past, wherein you was mistreated, bamboozled, hoodwinked, and tricked, then you are a 2011 slave. When you become free, you don't fear no more. You don't fear death. I've learned to see what Dr. King talked about. This is a long, lonely, meandering road. When you stand for truth and you know the knowledge of self, and when you realize that you've been hoodwinked, even in the noble name of Jesus, in many cases Mohammed, son of Amram and Yoshabel Moses. But when truth comes, freedom comes, and without truth there can be no freedom. And so today, my friends, I leave you by saying, I talk like I do because I love you. I talk like this because I am that I am. Brother John Robinson and myself, we thank Brother Gideon of Comcast in Atlanta in January of this year, opening the doors for us to tell the story that we couldn't tell here in South Georgia. No TV station have asked us to come, not even for an interview, as was done in Atlanta, or like we was interviewed in the Miami Herald concerning Rosewood. But that's okay. When Kay Harris and those in power refuse to meet with the economically oppressed, it's okay, because they are fulfilling divine prophecy, and we must understand that. Jesus said, and ye shall know the truth, and that the truth shall set and make you free. I didn't just start doing this yesterday or last 10 years. I started on this journey in 1974 and 75. And I said, never again will I just go to church and holler at Jesus and hallelujah and watch my people go to hell because I'm so damn fearful that I can't take a stand. I just go and bury my head in the sand like the legend concerning the ostrich bird and pretend that I'm in heaven while I know I'm catching hell, my children and the neighbors that live right down the street from me. I refuse to be a hypocrite. And so, I simply overthrew the government in the Congress and Senate of my own head. And so, that's why I speak like I do, because I love you just that much. And I want to say to you in closing, I, George B. Rhines, do not live to get to heaven. I don't pray to get to heaven. I don't try to live right to get to heaven. I don't go to church to get to heaven. I don't bow down and pray to get to heaven. I do right because it's right to do right. And I feel good in doing right. And that's the truth. Okay, now, if you want to hear more, you want to read more, go to Boston G.B.R. YouTube channel or kvci.blogspot.com or Doc Ghetto Child, that's Doc Ghetto Child, on YouTube for my brother John Robinson. Now, I want to say to you that I love you, and let no man, woman, or beast deceive you. No man can say they love you. No man can say they're a follower of Jesus Christ, Mohammed, or any of the those that travel the great line of holy divine, living in fear. Let go of the fear and overthrow the government of your own mind. Peace be unto you, and may the Creator of your salvation rule, guide you until you reach your final destination. Peace.